This right here is the one long conversation with your pal, Skip. Hello again. Welcome to day 2 of the pre-BizarroCon Bizarro Podcast Blitz. Today, I'm going to be talking with my good friend Andrew Goldfarb, also known as the Slow Poisoner. He's just one of the most amazing, multi-talented weirdos that I know. And he will be at BizarroCon this weekend. On Friday night, he will be playing a live set, an acoustic set of his, what I like to call psychedelic swampabilly music, and I will be sitting in with him on the bongos, as we do whenever we're in the same town together. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be showing the latest episode of The Slow Poisoner Show, an insane kind of underground Pee-wee's Playhouse of his own devise, where he does the stop motion animation, he builds the props and the sets. He basically conceives the entire mad thing, and I actually, I'm very bad in his in this episode as his old friend Krusty Ratbone, who is the bongo player. He's also the publisher of Freaky, which is a Mad Magazine styled, only substantially more underground publication that he does because he does these things. He's just kind of a nonstop fountain of amazing creativity and coolness, and you'll never find a person more distinctly themselves than he. Let's go talk with him. What do you say? Hey, we're recording. Hi.
Hello, John Skip. How are you?
I'm really good, man. How are you? Where are you seated?
I'm in San Francisco. I'm in my home. I'm
I like your chair.
Thanks. The chair came with the house, and it's actually one of the nicest. It really kind of sealed the deal, and sort of set the palette for the room.
Well, I mean, it totally it feels like you could have made that chair.
But I wouldn't have, because at the time I wasn't believing in the color blue. And It totally turned me on to the color blue. The house is blue, and a lot of the furniture was blue. And it was either like fight it or just change. And it's easier to just become a different person. So I'm now a person that likes blue, which is kind of cool because that's how I started.
And what do you mean? In what way did you start in blue?
Blue was my favorite color as a child, but only because red was taken.
Oh. Red is always taken.
Yeah, and that's why they give out the tickets to the red cars. It's a, it's a passionate color.
Nobody notices blue cars. They just go by. And, I guess it depends on the car.
No, you're right. Because you can't, they're out there. You see them parked, but you don't really notice them on the road.
Yeah.
They blend with the sky.
Yeah. I think that might be it.
Well, how are you? How are you, Skip? How's Portland, Oregon?
Well, it continues apace. I like it very much. There is an unusual amount of sun leaking through the windows, and I've put weird obstacles between me and the window to keep it from blaring out my face. And that's kind of unique because this has not been a sunny couple of weeks in general, but definitely in Portland.
But man, Apollo, you have to get with the golden orb.
I'm a fan.
It's the thing. I mean, it's that fiery hole is what makes it all happen.
It's true. And cyclical too. So shit.
Yeah.
There's 8 trillion things that I have fun talking with you about. one of them, I'm going to start here, man. The thing that has distinguished you from every other artist that I know is that you take your audio visual performance palette and you take it on the road to almost any and everywhere in a one-man fashion. That so much of what you do, you you have you have constructed your life in such a way that you can go out and do like uh, wild shit without anybody else but maybe people having fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like this morning, let me tell you about my day so far.
Please.
I procured what must be the largest piece of foam core made industrially in the United States. It's Kubrickian. Let me show you.
Please.
Is this a visual recording for the people, or is this
Absolutely.
purely okay, yeah. All right.
We're looking at stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't have talked about how cool the chair was. Which now everybody goes, oh, Jesus Christ.
It could blot out the sun of which we speak. So I caused quite a scene at the art store this morning. I got the Passion at around 9. I knew we had this at noon, but I found out that the art store opens at 10.
Right.
I had seen this giant piece of foam core. It's actually 48 by 96. It's 4 feet by, what is 96?
A bunch.
Like 8 feet.
Yeah, something like that.
It's 8 feet, maybe. It's big. It's a big fucker. And anyway.
What are you going to do to it?
Well, I'm going to make a giant glittering skull.
Okay.
And then the issues are, do I fold the skull? Can I take the skull on a plane? Because the skull does have to go everywhere. Because the giant glittering skull is what people aren't going to expect.
This is
and
true.
That's why the giant glittering skull has to be. And I had the call this morning to make it. So yeah. I think it speaks to your point. It's sometimes you got to get to the people. You know, they're on their phones. It's got to be 96 inches. You have to have 96 inches of glittering skull to get them off the telephones these days. And so that's how I spent my morning. But it achieves the purpose to which you speak. And I think I can't fail, because really there's nothing you can't do with foam core, you know, and it's right. So it'll be something that they don't expect.
Yeah. And a continuing reign of the unexpected is pretty much the name of the game, I think. You know, it's just
I think it's healthy. I think it's a healthy thing. I think you gotta keep it weird.
Yep.
You know, and you know, there are those that have mastered the art and can do it in subtler ways. But some of us, you know, it's got to be fun, too, in the process. So there are stages of the giant glittering skull. It may not, in the end, even be a giant glittering skull. It could be something else entirely, right? But the materials felt right. Just the statement of taking it on the bus, it felt like I was pushing up against the bounds of my reality. Like, is the thing going to break? Is someone going to get angry? You know, can I was, anywho. Yeah. So
and you got away with it.
I've always, I think, you know, as we get older and we feel like maybe the things driving us are a lot older than we thought it was. I mean, there is the antecedent, I'm sure, of the man with the giant glittering skull wandering into the village to freak him out. And so I'm just continuing that tradition.
Yeah, that grand tradition we all know.
Yeah. Well, maybe only a few of us feel the call. Right. I don't know. I'm not the only one.
No. Oh man, that's so good. And yeah, again, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, you think it's going to be this, but I always think about the sculptors who don't know what they're going to get until they go into the stone and the stone tells them.
Yeah. And part of that is I like to enjoy the interim stages in the moment. So I
Yeah,
wanted to actually be an interesting object at the various stages of its creation. And with that in mind, the aesthetics of it sometimes affect the ultimate, you know, thingamaboo. Some of that I think leaks into, our explorations in filmmaking as well. Once you're really in it, it can go a different direction than you originally intended. You want to keep it loose.
absolutely. No, you know, it's just so much. I guess what I love is that you actually love the process. I know a lot of artists that are very results oriented. It's like all the tiresome things I have to do are to make this thing I see in my mind. And a lot of people don't like. A lot of people like having written, but they don't like to write.
Well, I am somewhat that way. That is something I have said, and it's refreshing to hear others say it. And it
Okay,
was actually something that I first heard Jerry Garcia talk about with songwriting, like that he liked having a song, written, but anything to get out of it in the moment. Like, he's got to feed the cat. He'll do that instead. And I thought that was very brave of him to say, but I try to choose mediums and activities that will involve like a funness, like I'm really burnt out on computers, and thus making a big glittery skull is a very hands-on, tactile,
yes,
real world kind of sensation where I will enjoy the process. And that's why I chose doing that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I actually really burnt out on computers this past few years. I've successfully avoided using them that much, except for video editing and magazine publication, and an occasional thing like this for the
right.
past couple of years. And I've felt much healthier, I think, a little lonelier in a way.
Mm,
I think there hasn't been as much connection to other human beings through the shiny devices. But yeah, I've gone much more towards the old school kind of activities. I had a felt board going for a while. I was doing that
mm.
instead of the song cards, getting back to those childhood impulses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and the thing is, okay, so you're using the computer to edit film, but almost all of the visuals that you're using when you do your show are handmade. Um,
Right, right. Special effects that are very like stuff that anyone else would use a damn green screen on. I'm going to great lengths to do in a 19th century kind of way.
yeah,
Yeah, and then sort of the minimal computing needed, which sort of works out for me in general. I have like your mom can now use iMovie to do a
absolutely.
video. So there's no reason why you can't put something together. Do you know what I mean? Although, oh God, now I had to learn about DCP to get
Okay,
it into like theatrical. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
So
do.
that's a specific kind of technical pain you have to get when you have the good fortune to be invited to a screening where they're going to use a real high digital thing. But I had shot my stuff on iPhones because it was what was most convenient, the only thing I knew, you know what I mean, or had. I made it through that process a few $100s later, but yeah, I don't like living in that world, which I guess is one of the tricky things about kind of doing most of stuff myself. I sort of do it all, I'll write it and I'll make the props, and I'll act and I'll edit and I'll promote. And I think we should talk a little bit about promotion, because I bet that's something that we could have an interesting conversation about.
Absolutely.
Um, So but I don't feel the call to get really into video editing. Same as I don't with music editing. I like to have the minimal skills to make a demo, you know what I mean? Or to do something as complicated as my TV show. Um, and I feel like the one that you joined me on most recently, Cousin Crumple Comes a Colin, which is now making the festival circuit. It's going to be at a big screening at a reputable festival. I think that's as ambitious as I want to get with filmmaking, maybe. You know, I do not feel the pull to be Orson Welles. What I feel a pull back to is to be balanced with the other artistic activities that I enjoy, like playing
Yeah,
music and painting and publishing.
yeah.
I think that's where I'm happiest, is just doing a little bit of this, and this. And also, so when you're in the mood to do something, getting back to whether it's fun or not, you know, about feeling
Yes.
like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. The one of the techniques I employ is I will have a list going of the various artist necessary things I could be doing with my time on a
Right.
given day. Like right now, it would have the cover for Freaky, my next Freaky magazine needs to be painted. The slow poisoner set needs to be practiced. The giant skull needs to be built.
Mm-hmm.
And some old episodes of the TV show need to be done in a higher resolution now that I understand how important that sucker is. So I've got 5 different kind of tasks. It's unlikely I'm going to be in the mood for the digital one, right? The computer one.
The
But
least
if
fun
I,
one.
yeah, so whichever one strikes me. So I don't feel like painting the cover. Do I feel like making the giant skull? And so what happened this morning was I had that morning energy of, hey, let's get out there and see what's going on in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
that dovetailed with the giant skull in a way that I didn't even have to make anything, really. I just had to procure supplies, but
Yeah.
in a heroic fashion.
There
That's
you
what I
go. You had to
expected
make a
myself
journey.
out of. That I was going to spend however much damn money, and size was not going to intimidate me. I almost backed down and went smaller. But
Wow.
then you got to think ahead. It's like, how would you feel about that? Yes, you would be more convenient on the BART, but the rest of your day, you just feel like you chickened out, you know?
Totally. I mean, to me, the obstacle would be, can you actually fit it in the fucking door uh, uh, of the BART?
Right. And so someone might think, why don't you just have it delivered, Mr. Slow Poisoner? And I'll tell you why.
Right.
Because I looked online and I was going to go with something that was said thick, 3/16. I didn't understand what an inch really is and how it's not as thick as you think. And a half inch is what you want. You've got to feel it, man. And
Yeah.
then you've got to, you know, you've just got to go through the pain sometimes of lugging it around Bart.
Uh,
There's a little bit of pain. You know, the glittering skull, I had it going with coroplast, which is corrugated plastic for those of you interested in building materials. And I almost had it done. And then I realized, oh shit, you know what? This stuff ain't going to stand up, because the next gig I've scheduled is a backyard party in East LA. And
oh,
it's not going to last 5 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, there's the wind and there's also the people.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to
That was actually 5 people. This,
exactly. Right. So it turns out to have only been a mock-up, and I was, even as it was like, well, fuck it. I thought I was done, but it was actually only the preliminary run through. You know what I mean? Like you think you had the recording, but it's actually a demo. That happens. And
totally.
it's like, but then you know the finished thing is going to be good. You just don't want to drop the ball on it,
Yeah.
which is why I had to get out there and get the monolith.
Totally. No, as well you should. And yeah, I want to meet this thing again. I mean, you've in the last thing that we did with Cousin Crumple, you had what do you call the unfolding sheath of landscape that we had there?
I believe it's a panorama,
A
you
pa-
know, and your
yeah.
panorama can come in various. This was the television of its day, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, well, to describe it for people, it was basically like a giant scroll that unfurls and rotates, and we rotated it behind us, so it was almost like a cartoon background moving behind us. There's some good footage too, because it looked like we were marionettes, sort of. It
Ooh,
it came out nicely.
yeah.
Um, but that was also called a cranker, and people make small, like little ones in boxes where you like turn it. As a kid, a lot of stuff I do is getting back to things that fascinated me as a kid.
Right.
And it's like we used to have like toy TVs, and the only what you would have then is you would have like a little scroll, or maybe like Viewmaster, that kind of thing.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no. But the amazing thing with the panorama was that as you and Cousin Crumple were making your way through the kingdom, I'm just working this.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it was badly
No,
designed.
it, but it was awesome in practice. I just had to get the hang of actually furling the scroll so that it would unfurl on the other end. Yeah, it was crazy.
Now you know how a rabbi feels.
Do I though? I don't know.
A lot of pain, suffering.
Yeah,
suffering of the tribe, unfurling
man.
of the scroll.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
I'm glad that's
good.
over. But it's captured on film. That's one of the great things about some of this elaborate shit, is once you really get it captured, you can kind of move on from it, and leave it behind physically and mentally. I mean, that's probably what drives a lot of artists.
Oh, absolutely. No, and again, I mean, it's what I love about film is the posterity notion of it. You did the thing, you pulled it off, and now you never have to do it again. That part is done, and you can move on to the next weird thing you want to do. And like, I love doing the live shows. Doing live shows with you is so much fun, but it makes me wish that they were all captured the way you're capturing the shows, just because I would love to be able to see them. But they're captured on our central nervous systems, and that counts for a lot.
There isn't really time to go back and see stuff again. That's just the reality of it. There's too much new life happening.
Well, this is true, but you can leave the fossilized record for others to see that weren't lucky enough to be in the room.
Oh, I think we need to preserve the mystery at this point. I think we need to leave less behind, not more.
Oh, I guess that's fair, and yet, okay. To me, I mean, the art journey, the journey of making shit up and manifesting it. I like the chance to curate it. I like the chance to be able to say, here are things I love, I would like to share with you. Here are things that I think are cool. It's like loving a book or loving an album or loving a movie and just going, hey, check this out, loving a piece of art, and being able to show somebody else and know that thing got to have a longer journey than the afternoon you spent.
Oh, well, now I think we're talking about promotion.
There you go.
Yeah, I think promotion should be fun and artistic in itself. And I think that was the key to me enjoying this whole deal of creating stuff, was learning to enjoy the afterlife and not feeling there was like weird pressures to get it into places that it maybe couldn't easily go. But there are other places it could go, and you just go there,
Go there. No, that's great. Yeah. I mean, and that explains like doing shows in bowling alleys and doing shows in art galleries and doing shows in backyards in East LA.
Yeah, part of that is a philosophy, which was just, I'm not going to say no. And I'm also going to show up. I've played like almost 700 shows now. I've not missed one. And I guess you can do that. I guess it's same as like picking up your kid from school or whatever, except sometimes you got to get out of a sand dune first. But I was very, very much thorough about that. And then I also, it's exciting to have the thing done once you've got it done. In music, I learned a lot from music that I was able to then bring over to cartooning and now to film. In a way, I'm finding film very, very easy to deal with, because it's like there are sort of in a way, there are more limited avenues in a sense. Like you can always put it on YouTube and people see it and you feel good. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's the like film festivals, a way to get it around. And then there's DVDs, right? And there's more offbeat screenings like we've employed. And then there's building buzz and attention around it. And to that end, for Cousin Crumple, for example, the new episode of the Slow Poisoner show, I'll see if this is something that you're able to perceive through the computer or phone. But let me fetch.
What is he fetching? Let's find out.
So this item here.
Oh, yes.
It's a little device. And when you look through it, through the magnifier, maybe you can see. Oh,
I can see. Oh, and so can they. Oh, talk some more so it goes on your screen.
That's Cousin Crumple that we're seeing there. It's a mysterious image, so it takes some digesting. But it's a giant hat with feet and sort of phantom woman floating behind. But this is all in a keychain that's mass produced or something, approximately so. And if someone asks me, for my business card, I'll give them this. It's a way of promoting things that is fun for you. And you try to reach the people that would be intrigued in your kind of trip.
Yeah.
And
that's super cool, man. And the floating woman with the tree is part of the panorama that we were just discussing.
Yeah.
That was
good. You're able to identify that. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I mean, like one inspiration to me is Jack White of the White Stripes. I read about a record release party he did. He tried to draw attention to a new album. And what he did was he released little plastic records attached to balloons out into the world. And then, with a note for people to write back, seeing where it went. I just thought it was great because that's a fun record release, right? That's not like you're sitting behind a desk like talking about stuff. And then that's kind of like BIZARRO people and the way they read. Speaking of which, how was your reading last night?
Oh, it was really, really fun. There were 5 of us. We were in a coffee house in Lebanon, Oregon, which is about an hour and a half out of Portland. Tiny little town, cool, spookily decorated bookstore with great things like old landscape paintings with ghosts painted into them, and just it was fun to play with. And we had like 50 people, and there was some straight like horror reading, and then there was like Danger Slater doing his pitch for the next Scream movie, which was fucking hilarious. And people had a lot of fun. We sold some books, and also it turns out there's a Thai restaurant right on the corner called Awesome Thai, and it was. So
yeah, it sounds like fun.
All in all, a splendid time was guaranteed. But man, it would have been great if you were there, because that would have upped the voltage some.
Yeah, maybe sometime. It's always fun to play in places like that, and it's a reason to go out to them. It's sort of a reason to do anything. Like sometimes with like touring, it wasn't even really about the music. It was just about like a way of interacting with humanity. You know what I mean? It's easier to explain yourself after someone's seen you go on about headless chickens. You know what I mean? Like they know who you are after the headless chicken speech, because they accept that you're a guy that's fascinated with headless chickens. And then, they know a little about you and they're ready to open up about themselves, and you get to meet humanity that way.
Absolutely. No, the thing is that your shows really do invite people in. Um, they give, well, they're a lot of fun, and they're not normal fun. I think about the Frank Zappa line. It's like the mainstream comes to you, but you have to go to the underground. Just the fact that you show up in these places full of like what do you call the placards of art that you hold up before every song? Um,
I think placard is good. That's sort of a vaudevillian element,
yeah,
the
or
act
medicine
would
show.
have a identifier.
Yes. So you will paint these. You will paint one for each song that you're going to do, and then just put them, display them prominently so people can see what song is going on, and then you'll play it. Or if I'm there, we'll play it.
Yeah,
I
and
think
it's pragmatic too because it serves as a set list, right? And you can reorder it if it's more flexible than a set list in that respect.
it's
So it's
modular.
actually got that useful element. And then sometimes on the road, I would, if I was flying to a gig, which I've done more recently, I will use a felt board instead, which really has that kindergarten flavor. When you've got someone with an acoustic guitar and a felt board, you're back there in preschool.
That hadn't occurred to me, but that is hilarious. Yeah. Whereas several years back, it was floor tom with sleigh bell on the kick drum pedal, electric guitar, and then you would have uh, those placards and periodically weird things like you had like an enormous demon skull that you played in the mouth of, for example.
Yeah, there's been versions of the big monster head. And then I really pared it down for a while and got very minimalistic. I actually quit music. I didn't mention it to anyone because it's not my
Oh,
style, but I actually quit music in 2019. I was a little burned out, and part of it was carrying around all this stuff and having these nightmares that I was in the wrong town, and with a big gig, or like even in the right town, but I had to like get across the field with all my shit.
right.
And so a lot of anxiety. I was like, you know what? I need to take a break from this. And part of it is also doing it all alone and driving, and parking and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided in 2020 I wouldn't book any shows, which worked out great because there was a pandemic, and so there were no shows, so I didn't have to cancel anything. I was on point. I was as tired as the world was. But then, things change when you're just sitting home alone, with a mask on your head for months. And I heard the creeping call of acoustic music again, and
Yep.
sort of went folky in my bedroom, as so many did. Um, and that I got inspired and got weird and sort of just doing something new. And lately it's been growing a little more rambunctious. I've been using a stomp board, which is really just a piece of plywood
Yeah.
with a tambourine attached to it, kind of
Oh, I
like an
love
old
that.
blues man kind of thing.
Yeah.
And but I'm amplifying the guitar again, getting a little more rock and roll. It's great being a solo act because you can change things up.
Yep.
And when you're in a different headspace, it's you just change the nature of how you're, doing your thing. And there's a lot of freedom. Yeah. And it's sort of like balancing that to me with doing the visual art and also the filmmaking. For myself, if I get into one of these mediums more than the other, I'm not as happy, or I'll cycle them.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was you that we were talking about this because it can be overwhelming when you've got a lot of projects in the air. And when you're collaborating with people too, you're not always in control of when things get thick. And then there's life, which sometimes happens, you know what I mean?
From what I hear.
And so like I've had some crazy years where there's just like too much going down. And so I try to make adjustments like freaky. So I publish a magazine
Right.
and I was doing it every 6 months. But now I do it every 8 months because it turns out that makes a lot of difference. 6 months comes up quick, But a
Mm.
year is, it's a little sad to do something only once a year, because then you realize, oh man, I'm only going to do that 30 more times because there's no way I'm going past, whatever. So 8 months is great. And it sort of loops in an interesting way. It gets you off this whole 12-month thing. So I'm enjoying it. So like Freaky's coming out in March and November. So I'm doing like kind of a spring thing that I'm working on hard now. And
Nice.
then like a Christmas issue. And then the following will just be a summer fun time. And it works out to be, it's nice having my own rhythm that's at odds with the calendar, I
Yes.
think. But I have found that as I publish a magazine, I'm more into kind of publishing it than creating a lot of the content inside. So I've got like 20 or 30 people that contribute stuff
Right.
to it, that go in. Like I've done fumettis of the episodes that we've done, like a comic version of the film. And it's about, I guess, leaning into the parts of it that I like. Like I enjoyed putting out the magazine and like going around to stores, curiously enough. Like I found that I enjoyed that part. But
Right.
some people are just born artists, and you tell them, hey man, I want this picture of like a fig tree, that's sprouting teeth. And like it takes me a while. I'd have to figure out what a fig tree looked like, and get my fingers limber. Some people just are on that stuff. They were just born to do it, and they have
Well,
no place to put their fig trees.
fair
And
enough.
I
You know what?
happen to be able to provide a spot that will run the fig tree. And so it's a nice mesh.
Oh, totally. You just got to know that at some point along the way, they had to look up the fig tree shit too. That,
Yeah. But they've got it dialed in, right? And they're the fig tree drawers of this time and space. And so if they're itching to do them, I should let them do that to some extent,
here, here. Yeah. I mean,
And that's been nice. But like I have just gotten into doing the cover because it's a way to provide a certain unity. And let me actually talk about this for a minute. Let me grab a few and I'll explain.
absolutely. This is great. I was hoping that you would provide uh, visual examples, and here they come now.
Yeah. So this is Freaky number 3. And so I've painted a cover crudely enough. And this is interesting when you talk about this stuff and you see these connections. A crude painting of a person painting crudely, or a creature painting crudely, but painting a picture in order to change their environment. And
Yes.
I look at that now and I see, okay, this is kind of crude, but I knew what I was going for, which was the way Mad Magazine looked. If you remember, Mad Magazine would have these beautiful painted covers, but
Yes.
the only way that's going to happen for me is if I learn to paint them. I really can't afford to. That's not someone's. If anyone is born to be painting the covers, it would be me. And
It would be
so I
you.
get a little better at it as I do it each time. This
Okay, so
here is
I can see.
number 9, I think. And then, it's a 2-parter.
Oh,
This is during the pandemic years still.
can we go back to the front cover just for a minute? Because we could see the frightened reaction, but we couldn't see the slime creature's frightened reaction as much. And now, when you switch it around, their warm embrace makes a lot more sense. And they're friends.
It's a cute gag. It's funny how hard it is to come up with stuff like that. Someone else actually wrote that, which is kind of one of the pleasures of doing the magazine, is other people started contributing stuff that fit rather well. And it was
Yes.
like I had tapped a magic little vein. And people would actually send me ideas for covers. And it's like, oh, that's great. They're thinking of my character. They care enough to come up with an idea. I will
Oh,
pay you $25. Now, it's not a whole lot of money. I pay more now, but I would pay it immediately, which made them happy. And
totally.
I just thought that was fun, and it led me to like get into it. Now here I'm getting better. This is one of the ones that came out pretty nice, but like I had to think about like, what the hell does a wave even look like? You know what I mean? And then you
Right?
start like realizing like just what a long road it is from your head to the finished.
To,
But
to,
okay, so what is a wave? Well, it's got curve, it's got blue, and then you've got to suggest enough of it, right, that it reads as a wave, that it's not just gibberish. But you want it to have enough gibberish that it looks like you, the human being, created this wave. If I created a perfect wave, it would be boring. And that's one of the other things that led me to this, is there's a lot of great art out there that's boring because
Oh
it's
yeah,
very realistic. It's boring to me. It's all subjective, right?
sure.
But things that are done with expert skill or AI often, that just capture it perfectly, it's not of interest to me. I don't need more reality. I need the funky part. Reality just gets you more reality. You've got to get weird. So this is the most recent, and this was kind of a
Ah,
meta thing where you're doing an optical illusion. This was inspired by Mad and also MC Escher. Probably Mad turned me on to MC Escher,
sure, me too.
who's for those that don't know, is a surrealist painter that employed a lot of visual trickery. So you've got freaky reading freaky, etc. And you've got our president there on the toilet paper with being pooped on by a rat. Now, this is something I can do as a magazine publisher.
Yes.
And I'm going to do it. I'm doing it in the next one. Every single issue is going to have Trump being pooped on by a rat because I've got a magazine. And the great thing, I've got a secret out there for people that submit to publications. The easiest way to get your stuff published is to be the editor.
No kidding.
Yeah, so all you got to do is start your own. And then if you're the best-selling magazine at a store, which I am sometimes, they'll all have Trump getting his, it's juvenile and people can make their comments, but it gives me pleasure.
It gives me pleasure as well.
It gives other people pleasure.
Yeah.
So I'm working it in every single issue. This may go on even after the man's death, if that's such a thing as possible.
Time marches
Meaning
on.
his death will take us all, or he'll never die. But enough about that.
Well, no, but I do love, because it does raise the issue of the political as a part of the artistic experience. Basically, we're talking about the times that we're in, and because what else are you going to talk about? And to be able to respond and to be able to, like you said, when you're the editor, you can have a rat poop on Trump, and when you do a show, you can do whatever version of it is the version you choose to do that week. But yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a show of yours, or more to a point, played in a show, because every time I see you play, I'm seeing you playing, standing next to me while I'm playing bongos. But yeah, Trump or whatever part of it needs to be discussed this week is always there, and that makes me really happy.
Well, you feel more alive as a human being, as an artist, I think, if you're able to be processing the stuff that's happening. It's also more communal experience.
Exactly.
I do feel like we've all kind of stepped up for the moment. There's a lot of people really doing what they can, and that's good to see.
It's beautiful. It really, really is. And just the simple fact that the more we do it, the more pissed off he gets, and the harder he pushes, and then the more we push back. Um, um, it's way better than him just rolling us over, and everybody just going, "Okay, you're mean. We'll stop." Um,
Well, this is the thing we were heading towards, is how I feel about it, which is kind of an abstract idea, but it's just like this is the moment that it was all building into,
yep, the whole
and
time.
yeah, so we know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. This is all. This is all of the fabric. It all makes horrible sense. Uh,
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
yeah, sure is. Um, okay, so we've talked a lot about the creative process. We've talked about integrating it into the culture. We've talked about taking it on the road, um, and the promotion. I got to say that little Viewmaster unit is really, really, really cool. And yeah, finding inventive ways to play
Well,
with.
I'll send you a box then, because that's the plan, is to promote through something like that. So if someone likes it, you know, it's an easy sell.
I would say if you sent a box of them, we would use them to promote BizarroCon and you coming to BizarroCon so people can meet you and have fun. So that's a really, really good plan. BizarroCon this year will be in May as opposed to November, which changes the game up some. But I think we're going to have a blast. It's going to be more in the middle of town as opposed to out in Troutdale on the outskirts of town. And so part of the trick, I think, for us being a promotion will be to try and get more Portland freaks that don't know the Bizarro scene but are attracted by what we're throwing out in the couple of months in advance, so that maybe we'll meet new freaks. You know,
there's always new freaks.
Yeah, they keep making
one born every minute.
That's what I'm saying. Thank God. Yeah, I kind of like when they're around. So yeah, definitely do that. That will be super fun. Yeah, I can't wait to do this show. And we will be doing a film block again, so we will show the new episode to the crowd. That will be a blast. I'm trying to think, man. What else? There's so much of what we want.
We don't have to overtalk it. We may have been going at it here for a while. I'm not, you know, the podcasts don't have to be hours long, in my opinion. Once you've.
The fact of the matter is, we are right now at 43 minutes, and
that feels good to me. Then, yeah,
absolutely.
I think we've done it.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. How about let's do it again if we feel like it, whenever we want.
Yes, sure.
Okay, and thank you so much. It was so much fun as always, and have fun making the enormous skull.
Right on. Thank you.
Okay, take care, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.